Hello, PMC fans. It is your commish, and you see the title. It is again time, people. It is time. Like I say, am your host, and this is episode 3, where we go ahead and pick who we think is going to win for the week that start. Well, not doesn't start tomorrow, but the matches that drop tomorrow. And
Yep.
people, I have a friend with me, a special guest host, because I
Ooh.
didn't want to do this alone. People, say hello to my good friend Rocking Aerodactyl.
Hello, PMC fans. It's time for the It's Time. I
Indeed,
really wanted to say that.
it's time for the It's Time. Now, people, we have a lot of great matches this week, like previous weeks. Like, I'm very excited as far as how scheduling has been going because these matches have been very, very interesting. And surprisingly, we have a very straightforward set of picks this week. Most, if not all, the picks are almost completely one sided. And with that, we will go over the first match. We have Akki, coach of the Portland Crobats, versus Kyle, coach of the Mesquite Mesprits. And as you can see on the screen, people, it was a 6 out of 7 vote for the Portland Crobats. I mean, Portland has a very good team, but Mesquites do have Metagross. But I felt as if the lack of defensive switch-ins on Kyle's side would allow him to not be able to, compete with that of Portland. Because Portland has Megalopunny. Yes, he has Metagross, but if he hits Metagross hard, and then like he doesn't have anything to combat his offense. Kyle just likes to come out and hit as hard as he can. Have you gotten a chance to look at that matchup at all, Arrow?
Yeah, I'm looking at the teams right now, and I have to admit, I completely agree. What you said about defensive switches. I'm looking at the teams, and I see um, the Portland Crobats. I'm thinking you got Landorus for that ground type immunity. You
Mm-hmm.
got Amoonguss, that's always good. Special bulk. You got Slowking, who I don't know about his physical, his bulk in general, but semi bulky probably. And you got Cobalion, Golek, Magneton, even Avalok, who has great defensive typings. A lot of good defensive switchings, but when you're looking, oh, excuse me, but however, when you are looking at the, I hope I'm saying this right. I'm just gonna say Kyle's team because I don't want to mispronounce the first word in the other team, Mesquite.
Yeah.
Okay, good, Mesquite. I'm terrible with names, but I'm seeing that you got a lot of offensive like Metagross, but then also I'm seeing like Rampardos, Exploud, Flygon. Latios, Pokemon that are not known for being defensively switching. Like you said, a lot of offensive power, but especially in singles, I believe the best way to control a match is via switches. So yeah, I would say PC is probably the best choice. If you don't mind me saying just the initials.
No, no, no. You can say the initials. I mean, that's why they'll be able. If you guys don't understand what he's saying, you're a horse. Okay, the initials are on the screen. But I mean, Kyle is all for that offense, man. And I mean,
Mhm.
I'm an offensive player myself. I love being able to pressure people offensively, but at the same time, I still like having switch-ins. The way Kyle plays, he doesn't even worry about having switch-ins. He's just gonna have a bunch of mons that are going to hit you as hard as possible. And then the
Mhm.
Togekiss. That's literally his team. A team that hits hard, and then he has a Togekiss.
Yeah. Maybe
It's
you can kill there if you're in Assault Vest.
Yeah,
Could
that
be
could
semi
take some
bulky,
special
but
hits, but he doesn't really have anything to take hits on the physical side. Like nothing
no,
really wants to deal with Megalopunny, and
no.
that what I think is the main issue. And as you can see, people, everybody were like me picked Portland for that match. Again, nothing against Kyle. It's just that's how people feel the matchup goes. It's not in his favor in everyone's opinion. Now we shall go on to the second match of the week. The Kansas City Kakunas, Coach Adam, versus Evil Orso, coach of the Windsor Weaviles. Now, with this match, Adam's on a hot streak. He's using Genesect nearly to perfection, showing why that Mon shouldn't be allowed in this format. And we are taking note, believe me, you horse. It may not return after this suspect test. But I feel as if Adam's too much on a roll. He's a very good player in general anyway. And Orso doesn't have a bad team, but his swaps kind of confuse me. Like, I understand he didn't need the double redundancy and 2 fire types because Arrow, before this week, Orso had both Entei and Victini.
Ooh.
And he swapped out Entei, but instead of swapping it out for, another typing that could probably help glue up his team, he picked up Combuskin. And I,
Mm,
I understand it's the speed boost baton pass situation, those type of
yeah.
shenanigans. But when you have a situation to make swaps to, fix your team some more, I would think you're dropping a fire type just to get rid of that second fire type, not to grab
Yeah.
another one, a worse one by ridiculous standards.
Hmm.
And it's like I'm looking at his team. I'm trying to see if there's anything that jumps out to me that he doesn't have a fairy type. He could have picked up a he
He
could have
could
picked
have.
up a fairy type. He could have did. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and judge you, Orso. You did what you wanted. You obviously want to make use of the combustion speed boost shenanigans, and I, for one, want to see it actually happen. I mean, you already kind of had that with agility baton pass with your Mega Absol, but having literally speed boost and then I mean, and yeah, speed boost baton pass with combustion, you can set up some potential sweeps. I'm just not too sure as to who's actually going to give you the opportunity to do that. How do you feel about this matchup, Arrow?
Um, and this one in particular, something that stuck out to me. I'm a VGC player, so I see a bit of what Pokemon can deal with, specific things. That's my mindset. And I'm noticing a Gourgeist on Adam's team, and I'm a huge fan of Gourgeist. Its bulk is very good. You're gonna want something to deal with that. And while I'm noticing he does have Salamence, but like I feel like Entei definitely could have helped deal with that Gourgeist in particular. That's what's jumping out to me. And the switch for combustion just makes that matchup just a little more worse. Um, and like you did point out, the lack of fairy typing. I mean, you got Clefable, but that's not really offensive, fairy typing there. It's more defensive. So I would agree there. I feel like the switch is interesting. I would like to see some cool um, baton pass, speed boost stuff happening to get a cool sweep. I think that definitely be a great play and great match if that happened. But I do agree. I do believe that Adam would win this match just based on the teams in general. Also, like you said, Genesect doing some work. So yeah, I would say definitely Adam, possibly probably with this one.
Yeah,
Oh,
Adam's
sorry.
been playing amazing with Genesect. It has six. Well, through week two, it has 6 kills, 0 deaths. So he knows how to use it. He knows how to get it out of there. And I apologize for me missing the fact that he has Clefable right there in my face, people. I just now swapped onto his team sheet, but I mean, eh, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think his team is bad. His team has some threats. Mega Absol, I love it,
Yeah.
especially in this format. It is amazing, but I feel as if Adam's team just has too much for Orso to be able to take this week, which is why that was my lock of the week for this week. I locked up on Adam against Orso. No offense to Orso, if you guys take offense to any of the things we say in these videos, you are indeed part of the Horse Clan. So,
Um,
Arrow, can we say that your pick is going to be Kansas City for
yeah,
this one?
that would be my pick, definitely.
And for week one, who was your? I mean, week one, the first match, the PC versus Mesquite. Who's your pick for that one?
Oh, that was Portland Crobats.
All right, so yeah, we got all right. It's time to move on for us to go to the third match. We have the Baltimore Oriolus with Choice CJ as their coach against Roshan, coach of the Detroit Soul Gallios or Soul
Ooh,
Galeos or Soul Mega Pyroar.
nice.
Ha. Now everybody pretty much went for Baltimore in this one. In my opinion, I did it just because I know how capable as a battler CJ is. Seeing what CJ was able to do in the first 2 weeks, he didn't play bad in his week one loss against Akki. He just was outplayed a little bit. I mean, sometimes you just get outplayed. Like, you don't necessarily play bad, but somebody plays better, which can give them the win. And as far as Roshan, he's still getting used to his team. He made the necessary swaps he
Mhm.
felt he needed to make. He has Mega Diancie now. His team is very threatening. Very, very threatening. But I feel as far as the strategicness goes with CJ, I feel like he'll be able to pull something out of a rabbit out of the hat and be able to take this win. Matchup wise, I mean, I think it's pretty even. In my opinion, these are two very scary teams. I love Roshan's team.
Mhm.
Mega Diancie, Rotom Wash, Staraptor, Umbreon, Nidoqueen, Druddigon, Drill, Miss Magius, Galvantula for the webs, Celebi, Tangela. Like, this team is amazing. in my opinion. But then you go ahead and you look at CJ's team, and he has Manaphy and Mega Sableye. You know, he has Sneasel and Skarm, Heliolisk and Embor. Like, his team's not one to laugh at as well. So I feel like this is going to be a punch for punch, tit for tat type of match. But I feel as if CJ will be able to pull it out in the end just because of his what's the word? He's used to this format. You know, he's a
Mhm.
veteran in this format now. He's played in a few leagues. He was actually a champion of the UBC, which is Adams League. So I mean, I feel as if his area of expertise kind of goes above Roshan's because of his experience.
Mhm. Um,
Yeah.
all right, all right then. So yes, I don't know. I would say if it came down to teams, it would be very interesting. I'm looking at the teams right now. What stands out to me on Roshan's team is actually the Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash can be a very bulky mon, at least at least in VGC, because that's again I don't do much singles. So that's my mindset. So I do apologize for those of you that are like, no, he's much more offensive, unless you're running that like choice scarf one. But Rotom Wash in my mind is a very bulky mon, and I'm looking at CJ's team and noticing that Vertimarsh could actually 1v1 or even drain out and stall out a lot of his mons. What I'm seeing is possibly Manaphy, Skarmory, Embor. I'm seeing a lot of work that Vertimarsh could do. But at the same time, on CJ's team, I'm seeing Mega Sableye, who is great in almost every format. I don't know one format he's not great in. Because of that magic bounce ability, it's very difficult to actually try and stall out this already very bulky wall. You have access to things such as recover. You can burn possibly, but Mega Sableye can also set up with Calm Mind and just do a lot of work. So I don't know what kind of plays that CJ would do with Mega Sableye, but um, yeah, there's definitely that factor. And then also, I once had a conversation with Wolfie Glick about team building, and he actually told me that it's half of it's a team, but it's really the player at the end. So I would actually go with Baltimore as my pick because if you're going down with experience, I feel like their teams would be pretty neck and neck already, but experience would probably win out the match. So that's my pick for this matchup.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful analyzation of the matchup from Rocking Aerodactyl here. So you heard him here. He's picking Baltimore. He's siding with us. The majority picks Baltimore. Hey, Roshan, man, if you're watching this, feel free to prove us wrong. All right, do it. Go ahead and grab that win if you can. Now we go
Definitely.
on to the next match. Another match with which everyone was pretty much on the same page. There's three straight matches where everyone's on the same page. The first match being Cloud going for Kyle because of friendship. I'm pretty sure that's the main reason Cloud picked Kyle. No offense to Kyle, of course. Like I said, I just feel as if the matchup is not in his favor. But so we have New York versus Maxx, the Maxximum. Sorry about. Hold on, Rogue. All right, people. Again, sorry for the intermission. Had some situations I had to handle. Hashtag IRL problems. But with the fourth match of the week, people, we have the New York Metagross RG the Awesome, the nice and awesome coach, versus Maxx, coach of the Maxximum Charizards. And as far as this matchup goes, people, we have two completely, I wouldn't say topsy turvy, but we have one person who's at the top of the league, 2 and 0, undefeated, and then we have Maxx who has so far struggled to get a win. Now, Maxx is having a rough go. Again, this is his first time in this format, and I mean, for certain people, it takes an adjustment period, so I can understand that. And I'm not gonna hold that against him. Why is this New York so tiny? Hello, that does not look that. Why is that so tiny? All right, there we go. It's bigger. Live editing, people. Yeah, but
Movie magic.
Maxx is pretty much. I just don't want him to get down on his luck, people. But I mean, in a format like this where there's a lot of good players, you have to bring your A game. And I feel as if RG is right now is on his A game, and just matchup wise, his team is too powerful for Maxx to be able to get over with what he has right now.
Hmm.
And I mean, like I said, RG has been doing what needs to be done as far as his play. He's been playing well. Maxx, I wouldn't necessarily say has been struggling, but his week one, he just made a mistake not worrying about getting hazards up. If hazards were up, the sashes would have been broken, obviously barring defog and stuff like that. But every time Hippowdon was in against Mandibuzz, it lived longer than Mandibuzz, so rocks could have been up and hazards could have been set. But his week 2 match, he literally was just dismantled, for lack of better words, by someone who literally just prepped for his whole team, like I've been trying to get him to do this whole season. Now, Max, if you are watching this video, if you hear what I'm saying, that is what I want you to do, Max. Find out what your mons can learn, find out what your opponent has, and put special moves on to cover what he has. Like when you said, you know what, I might even throw Dazzling Gleam on the Tentacruel. Yeah, that can work if there's a reason for you to have Dazzling Gleam on Tentacruel. It's just you have to have certain things. You have to your coverage moves have to change, my friend. Like hidden power, you have to abuse hidden power. Run funky hidden powers that you wouldn't normally run, like hidden power electric or hidden power fire, hidden power grass, hidden power ice. I mean, even if you want to run hidden power dark, do it. But it's just like you have the tools to be able to take care, well, not take care, but combat against whatever your opponent can bring against you. I just hope that you're able to do that. And I mean, looking at the matchup, I mean, RG has Volcanion, Crest, Mega Venusaur. I honestly don't think there's going to be any way Max is going to break through that. Not questioning his skill or anything like that, but that's just a ridiculous, ridiculous core to try to break through.
Hmm.
How do you feel?
Yeah, first off, I'd like to just expand really quickly on what you said about being able to adjust based on your team. That's what intrigues me about these draft style formats, that you can actually adjust your team, in this tournament basically before every match. Because when you're at live tournaments, whether it's VGC, Smogon, ever, when you're ever in person, you really can't, alter your team that much, or if not at all, at least in VGC. So basically, you're stuck with what you got with. So that is what intrigues me about the PMC and GBA and all these draft style formats, is that you can often just switch out and adjust and give your Pokemon specific moves just for that 1 week. So I just want to expand on that really quickly. Matchup though, um, yeah, I completely agree. The Cresselia and Mega Venusaur really caught my eye. Those are really bulky mons. That Thick ability on Mega Venusaur is probably the most OP ability you can give it, because now it's basically only weak to Flying and Psychic. Um, and if you look at Max's team, you're not really getting much of that. You do have Alakazam, but then you also have the Cresselia, which can wall that. Yeah, something that did catch my eye though was the Ferrothorn. Just I love Ferrothorn, and also the Fortress. Though those are basically pretty matched up. But if I had to make a pick, I would definitely say um, RG the Awesome would take this one for basically multiple reasons. But the two top reasons being, first off, the record. You have a 2-0 player versus an 0-2 player. Nothing against Max. Again, this is a difficult format to get into, and I understand it's the first one, but there's that record too, based off the prediction off of. But then also, like you said, the Volcanic, Cresselia, Mega Venusaur core is really hard to take down, and I just don't think that Max has the Pokemon that it takes to break down this core effectively. So if I had to make my pick, I would definitely say the New York Metagross.
And Max, I was gonna go ahead and try to, give you some input on what I think you should make your swaps. I honestly think you should drop Mega Charizard Y and pick up something like Mega Gardevoir. It gives you a special wall breaker, it gives you the fairy typing, it gives you a strong psychic type. That's my favorite fairy in the format, honestly. Mega Gardevoir. It gives you a fairy and a strong psychic in one. With that, you can drop Mega Charizard Y and Alakazam. You can pick something else that can, help your team. And then drop either Feral Thorn or Fortress, because you don't need two steel um hazard users or spin. Well, Feral isn't a spinner,
No,
but
no, no. Max doesn't have Fortress. I
oh, he
was
doesn't.
saying that the New York Metagross has Fortress. Like
Oh,
that pair
okay.
up, I just thought was interesting.
All right. All right. All
Sorry,
right. No, no,
confusion.
no. You're good. You're good. But still, I don't know, man. I just see. I feel like he can. He has some type redundancies, and then he has some types that I feel he needs that he doesn't have. Even though Alakazam is an amazing Pokemon in this format, I feel as if getting Mega Gardevoir
Mm-hmm.
opens up to the space for him to swap Alakazam for something else. Like maybe he can go ahead and grab Gengar if it's available. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it's available. I would have to look, but I feel like Mega Gardevoir would suit this team much better than Mega Charizard Y because you have no need for Sun. You're not taking advantage of the Sun at all. You're not
I
doing anything to take advantage of the Sun. I mean, it boosts Heatran's accuracy on moves, I guess, but you're also counteracting that with Hippowdon. Unless you don't want to run Sandstream Hippowdon, you have Stoutland to pair with Hippowdon that I actually went ahead and tried to help you with. But your Sun from Zard Y actually hurts your Jinx more than it helps. Even with dry skin, it makes fire even that much more stronger against it. Not saying Jinx was going to be able to even take a Flame Wheel, but now if you happen to switch Jinx into a hidden power fire, it's GG.
One thing I would like to though to commend Max on his team building is I noticed he has a Swampert and Fairthorn and two fire types. I do like that Firewater Grass core. Firewater Grass is often a strong core I like to incorporate into VGC. And I do apologize, I keep going back to VGC. It's the only format I really know what to how to talk about. But you already have the Heatran. So like we already said, you can actually drop Mega Charizard Y. It's not really helping you, or like Jspeckz said, I should say actually, because you will maintain that Firewater Grass core if that is something you're kind of leaning towards. Just something I also wanted to point out, if that's all right.
No, 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 no. By all means, my friend, expound is far. Why do I keep saying that? I made up this word. I don't know why I keep saying it, but feel free to go ahead and give us all the input on these matches. That what this video is for. And so do you want to go on? Well, who do you're picking RG for this match, right?
Yes, correct.
All right. So with that, we are. Oh wait, just a disclaimer because like I said, I know Max is feeling a little down on the situation here. Nobody is trying to attack you, my friend. This is just how league format goes. We discuss who we think's gonna win. If you don't want us to pick against you, my friend, you just have to go out there and win. You got to prep. You got to prep hard. Remember that people are prepping for you as well. While you're prepping for them, you're not the only one prepping. They are also going out there and making a team that's going to beat your team specifically. They're not making a team that's just going to be able to go out there on Battle Spot and do decent. No, they're specifically tailoring their team to take you on. And that's what I want everyone to keep in mind. Now, with that, we have go on to the Atlanta versus Maryland match. A very, very split decision match. I, for
Oh,
one, was like 2 seconds away from picking Maryland as my lock, just because I believe in Jack. He lost his week one to RG, which was very surprising. Another match I wasn't like that threw me off. He missed the Stone Edge, which probably changed a lot, and as far as the course of the game. But I mean, hindsight's 2020. You can't really blame that on him losing. RG just played really well. It's just that was a small factor in it inside it. As far as Trev, Trev faced Washington week one and was handled, in my opinion. Like Washington did a great job of taking him down, and a lot of people looked at Trev's team and thought it was the number one team on the season just on paper because of the threats that he had. And he recently made some swaps, so on the sheet arrow, it's gonna look a little bit different for you now. But he used to have uh just go to where it says the trades and hold on, let me see because I don't want you to
the
spoil
free
the
agency
new
trades.
stuff. Hold on, let me see. Let me go to his team page on the sheet. Yeah, go to the free agency. Hold on. No, the free agency trades is what Trev used to have.
Okay, so read it
And
based off that.
yeah, and the incoming trades are what he's getting now.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what he like his team. He had Landorus I. He had Kieran
And lenders too.
Black. Like yeah, like his team is
Tornado,
crazy, which is why a lot of people pick this team to be number one. And it's just like it's been a little overwhelming. I mean underwhelming so far. Like he did pick up a big win against Maxx, but Maxx isn't he isn't used to the format. He doesn't
yeah.
know how the format works, which is why I had to go ahead and pick against Trev this week. I picked my friend Jack. Is a great battler. He is known for playing this format. He has been almost in every league that I've been in. Plus, he plays on a few on the side. He's one of the people I go to when I need some help team building. Like if I can't think of something, I usually go to him. I have a few people I go to, but he's one of them. And yeah, I just feel like Trev. No offense to you, man. You, I'm losing faith, man. I'm losing faith. I thought you were gonna destroy Washington week one, and then you lost, and then you dropped Maxx on his neck, but it was Maxx, you know. No offense to you, of course, Maxx. It's just like I said, you're new to the format. So just knowing the caliber of player that Jack is, Trev's a great player as well, but Jack is also a good player. So it's two good players going up against each other. And
Yeah.
I love Jack's team, especially with the swaps he made to turn it into a more offensive team with Mega Pinsir and Hydreigon. And Jack's team is very, very threatening, and I feel as if he can match up well against Trev compared to the team he had in week one. So I got to go ahead and I got to pick Jack for this one.
Interesting. All right. Um, well, this. Oh wow. Okay, this is difficult for. So let's analyze this. First off, like you said, very threatening teams. I'm looking at Trev's team right now, um, and I'm seeing Landorus, Kyurem, Infernape. I'm seeing so much. I'm seeing all these threatening things he has. Tornadus. This is crazy. For Alligator is great at sweeping if you can get him set up at least in some formats. That is. I don't have much experience with him, but I've seen what he can do. Wow, this is
Yeah,
so much offensive power. But
his
that's not to say
offensive
he.
power is insane on the team. That's why I felt as if just him bringing literally his top six every week will put him in a position to beat everybody. But I mean, so far he's 1-1. So this
Yeah.
match will tell us what can happen because he's actually going up a very good opponent.
Yeah. So now let's look at Jack's team, and I'm seeing just as much offensive power. I'm seeing. Um, can I or is his roster up to date? Can I read off this
Yeah,
current
yeah,
one?
yeah. His
All
he
right.
already
So
made his swaps. All those swaps are in effect now. This
all
is
right,
his
just
team.
making sure. And I'm seeing wow, I'm seeing Hydreigon that can be formidable. I'm seeing Kyurem, Mega Pinsir, Nidoking, but I'm also seeing a lot of bulky mons as well. I'm seeing Coffergias and Sylveon and Lantern. Also back to offensive, I'm seeing Terrakion. So both users I feel like have a lot of offense. And I'm interested to see how next week, based on what the new switches will be for Trev will be, but also it's hard because they're both 1-0. So I mean 1-1. So that also makes it difficult based on the past. However, looking at the team matchup, I feel like that Trev had not as much as a defensive team as you will as Jack did. I feel like Jack definitely had more switch-ins than Trev did. At least that's my personal opinion. So based on that, oh, this is hard. Like just like this, I'm pretty split. Um, but I'm gonna go with Jack just because I feel like he had better switch-ins. And yeah, so I would say my pick would be Jack, but it's very close. I look forward to seeing this match. I also look forward though to seeing what Trev will do with his new Mons in next week's. I feel like this will definitely help him a lot in the future.
Yeah, people, when you see the free agency video that D-Pad's gonna do, I'm just gonna say those swaps are kind of interesting, people, in my opinion. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week four, which is next week, not this week. People, don't get
Yeah.
confused. Now we have our final match of the week. Excuse me, I almost yawned. It is the Washington Talonflames, the coach's Spencer versus Dolphin Coach of the Voltgate Zoroarks. Now, I for
Mm.
one absolutely admire Dolphin's team, and funny enough, I really don't know why. I think it might just because he has Protean Greninja, and I love Protean Greninja. But the only thing is, he hasn't really abused it in this format, which is
Mm.
like a lot of people say it's broken, but Dolphin hasn't been able to do much with it at all. He always brings it focus sashed. Like Dolphin's just been very predictable so far this season. It's like he brings both Greninja and Dugtrio. They're both going to be sashed, so it's just like make sure you get your hazards up. And then Mega Aerodactyl, even though it's very fast, its move pool is ridiculously limited. So I mean,
Mm.
it's not much that can do. He does have Raikou. He has Vaporeon for a bulky water to go with his offensive water. I actually like that when building teams for this format. I feel like because water, even though it's an amazing defensive typing, it is also a great offensive typing. So if you can get the best of
Yeah.
both worlds, you are good to go. That's like one of the only typings I'm cool with doubling up on is water. Because sometimes you like having a someone that can use Scald and it actually hurts is something good. And then he has Mandibuzz, who he's used pretty good this season. I'm not gonna knock him for Mandibuzz. He even though his Doug Trio has been kind of obvious to predict, he's used it well. He's brought a few different sets on it. He actually brought um Reversal against Jack last
Ooh,
week. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Reversal is what killed Jack's Kyurem. I might have to look back and make sure, check my notes for that, because I'm the one who recorded that match for Jack, and I was like, ooh, Reversal Doug Trio, is this life? And it was actually pretty beautiful. But
nice.
I feel like Dolphin is too, yeah, he killed two things with Reversal. He killed both Lantern and Kyurem. I just feel like Dolphin is too cookie cutter at this point in the season for him to be able to pick up a win on an opponent that he doesn't know much about. He hasn't really had many encounters with Spencer, and I feel like Spencer's team is not one to laugh at as well. Though I hate Mega Scizor in this format, he showed he knows how to prep with it, as you see when he fought against RG last week. Even though he lost, he went ahead and sped crept RG's Volcanion with his Mega Scizor. So he made sure to run enough speed to outspeed that, which was, in my opinion, very amazing. Even though it didn't, like I said, didn't do as much as it could have, and RG was able to handle that match. I feel like it's interesting. And as far as Washington as well, um, Arrow, he made some swaps, so just make sure you go to the free agency trades are what he has, and the incoming trades are what he will have
Okay.
next week. So just keep that in mind when you go over the team. He has the three that are in free agency trades.
For did you say for Spencer?
Yeah, for
All right,
Washington.
I'm just clarifying. Thank you. Well, alrighty then. Wow. So I'm looking at the teams here. First off, I just want to say shout out to Dolphin for using Mega Aerodactyl. I know it's a very hard Pokemon to use, but yeah. But I do have to agree, it is very fast, but its move pool is very, very limited. Do you do get Tough Claws? I believe is what it
Yeah,
is
it gets
that
tough
boosts
claws,
that.
but it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't with its move pool. It doesn't even really get to use it. It
Yeah.
literally almost runs Aerial Ace, Stone Edge, Wing Attack. I guess one of the Fang moves, or
Yeah.
what does it even get to use Tough Claws? Like, does it
Yeah.
get anything at all? I'm about to look that up.
Well, you do get Tough Claws does basically physical damage. If as long as it makes contact by 30%, you do get the three fangs. You know, like Thunder Fang, Ice Fang, Fire Fang. Which Ice Fang it was pretty good. I actually tried Mega Aerodactyl for fun one week during VGC 2015, and it was okay. I mean, you got the we ran Rock Slide, Protect, Sky Drop, and what was the last one? Ice Fang. Ice Fang is pretty decent for them dragons. Like you could run Ice Fang for that Garchomp to get an Oko there, but I mean it didn't even Oko Garchomps unless they got a crit or boosted all the time, which was rather depressing, honestly. So I do believe Mega Aerodactyl, while it is great and fast, it's all it really does do. It doesn't provide any good switch-ins to be honest, except in the earthquakes or anything like that or earth powers. So I'm interested to see if he does use it, but definitely questionable. I'm gonna be honest, but yeah, I just shout out to you for using my Aerodactyl because I know it's a difficult Pokemon to use. One sad thing though is you think Aerodactyl could be very good in VGC against Virizion. The yeah, I'm saying that right. Except Skydrop actually Virizion is. Am I saying that right? I think I'm saying that right. I don't know why I think I'm not. Is literally one like ounce over the weight limit for Skydrop, so that doesn't even work,
Oh
which
my!
is
Wait.
which was very
Whoa.
depressing, which I found out in battle. So I do believe Aerial Ace is the way to go unless you're using Skydrop for a specific strategy. But going off of that, something I did notice though on Spencer's team was, or I'm just making sure, is that he's got a Suicune, and Suicune is a very, very bulky mon for those of you that do not know. And I'm looking at Dolphin's team and noticing while he could maybe use Bullet Seed Skill and Heracross, but he hasn't used that this season, I believe, yet. He really only has to deal with it is the blanking out Raikou, which also can be easily countered by um, a lot of other mons that could on Spencer's team, such as just making sure I don't give anything away. Okay, we're good. Like Garchomp can easily deal with that, and got Crocodile and a few other mons. So based on that, I feel like that if you get rid of the Raikou, that Spencer can honestly just use Suicune and stall out, or sweep with this team, which I would be interested to see. They're both 1-0, which is very interesting, but I mean that Suicune I've seen that actually. Didn't you use Suicune in Northern Nations live stream,
Yes, I
if
did,
I
and
recall?
I ended
The
up
Calm Mind.
winning that tournament,
Yep.
getting 2-6-0s against Tyler with it. Oh, sorry, Tyler.
Yeah, so I believe that Suicune in VGC is it's so good in VGC 2015, and it's great honestly in VGC 2016. There's very little grass type present, so I don't know why people use it more other than Parathorn, obviously. But going back, I believe Suicune is what's gonna make me decide. I'm gonna go with Spencer here because I don't know about their like how different they are via skill because they're both 1-0 obviously, but it's that Suicune that's basically for me saying that Suicune can easily help win this match. I mean, it can take out Aerodactyl, Stolic Greninja, 1v1 Vaporeon, Arcanine, Mandibuzz. Even Metagross has a hard time unless you're running Thunder Punch, but even then, if you get a burn, you're not going to do too much. So yeah, I would be interested to see what he does with Heracross if he will run if he does bring this match for like a skill link. Which does he get skill link before he mega evolves? I don't know.
No,
Uh,
Skill Link is only for his Mega.
it's only for mega. Okay, so yeah, so forget I said that, but yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know what Heracross would do honestly. Maybe for close combat for a Crocodile or something. But all in all, also I noticed the Weezing, which he hasn't used yet, but Weezing's always an interesting mon. So I would say my pick would be the Washington Talonflames because just the type matchup. I believe Suicune will. Oh, excuse me. Suicune would do a lot of work, so I believe my pick would be also Washington, unlike everybody else. Like everybody else, I should say, not unlike.
All right, and with that, people, we have covered all the matches. I'm just gonna briskly go over everybody's last week again with Dallas. Like I said, he's it's harder for him to be able to send us his picks because he lives in Japan now. But Stab also has some picks. It's not gonna be added onto the layout, but I'll most likely put them in the description just to show you guys what his are. But last week we all went 5-1 except for Aiden who went 6-0. All of us, I'm pretty sure, except for V, got our locks of the week right last week, and now most of us are 8-4. Like me, Tyler, Bird, and is that it? Yep, me, Tyler, and Bird are
Yeah.
tied at 8-4 for second place, with V and Aiden tied at 9-3 for first place, and Cloud and D-Pad are currently in last place with a 6-6 record. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was saying that right. Yep, it is 6-6. So
Mhm.
people, feel free to leave us your picks for this week in the comment section. Tell us who you think is going to win. Tell us why do you think they're going to win, and tell us what team you're rooting for this season to win it all in general, to make it all into, well, or just tell us who you want to make it into main season 2. You know, shout outs to my friend Rocking Aerodactyl for coming through and chilling with us. He will be an analyst for season 2, people. So I'm just
Woo!
getting him in here to get him used to, racking his brain on this stuff. Give him a little extra practice before the season starts off. And alright, people, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Make sure to subscribe to the PMC channel. Subscribe to all the analyst channels and the players. I mean, you can subscribe to the commission if you want. And make sure to subscribe to my good friend Rockin' Aerodactyl. His links will be in the description as well. And if there's nothing else you'd like to say, Arrow, you want to say anything else?
I think you pretty much covered it. Definitely check out the PMC. Uh, they do a great job Also, they have a website, but that's been up for a while. And also, they have the best intro ever. So give them a like us for that. That pretty much sums it up.
Clean intro, club people. But all right, we're gonna get on out of here. Let's have another great week of the PMC, people.